The uninsulated aerial devices, or placing bucket trucks, that we use can serve to make our work easier and to increase productivity. But as with any other machine, they can also add to the risks we take. At our company, we are absolutely committed to eliminating these risks. That's why you're watching this video. We want you to have all the training and information you need in order to work with and operate bucket trucks safely and effectively. Your safety is our #1 concern. As with all our jobs in the field, we don't leave the yard unless we're sure we have all the personal protective equipment, or PPE, appropriate for the work we'll be doing. When working with bucket trucks, we need to at least have on board harnesses and lanyards, hard hats, safety vests, safety glasses, work gloves, foreign voltage detectors, and insulated rubber gloves. If you don't have these items, stop and get them. You can't work without them. The harnesses and lanyards must be inspected as well before any work can begin. There should be no tears or frays. The buckles and Velcro, if you have any, should be working and in good condition. And the manufacturer's tag must be in place and legible. Harnesses and lanyards that are more than 5 years old should not be used and must be replaced. Like any vehicle over 10,000 pounds, bucket trucks need to pass the daily DOT pre-trip inspection. The daily DOT pre-trip is important enough in and of itself that we've created separate training to cover it. There's no point in initiating the bucket truck pre-flight inspection until you're sure the truck is safe to operate on the road. Once you've verified you have all your PPE, your fall protection is good to go, and you have completed the daily DOT pre-trip inspection, you can proceed with the bucket truck pre-flight inspection. This is probably going to take about 10 minutes start to finish. The order you follow when performing the inspection isn't critical, as long as you check out each of the following points. Hydraulic fluid. Before you start or move any hydraulic parts, make sure you check the hydraulic fluid level. Note, if cylinders are extended, you won't get an accurate reading. They have to be retracted at this point. Boom unit. You can't do a complete bucket truck inspection with the booms racked up because the booms you need to look at are out of reach and retracted inside one another. You must extend them as part of the inspection. Lower controls. Regardless of the bucket truck you're inspecting, and regardless of the location of the lower controls, you are required to check them every day. They are your go-to controls in the event of an emergency. Go ahead and run the booms through the entire range of motion using the lower controls and then lower the basket to the ground. Watch and listen. This movement should be smooth with no unusual noises. In order to do it right, you have to get the booms in a position to look them over. This is important enough to do every day. Be thorough. Once the basket is near the ground, you need to make sure the lower controls override the upper controls and that the emergency stop works. First, with the controls set to lower, try the upper controls. They should not work. While the controls are still set to lower, push the emergency stop button. Now, nothing at all should work from either set of controls with a lower control emergency stop activated. Remember to deactivate the emergency stop after you test it. Next, make sure you can start and stop the truck's engine from the lower controls. Some of our trucks have a 12-volt emergency pump. This allows you to get down and rack the booms up. Make sure you test it and that it works. Upper controls. Now set the controls to upper. Press the upper emergency stop. The reaction should be just like the lower emergency stop. Nothing should work. The only difference is that the lower controls should work with the upper emergency stop pressed. Check to make sure the lower controls work. Now make sure you can start and stop the truck's engine from the upper controls as well. It should act just like the lower controls did. If you have a 12-volt emergency pump, make sure you can start it from the upper controls as well. Doors and latches. There are several types of bucket doors. No matter which type you have, the check is the same. The primary latch should work smoothly and the secondary latch must be in place and working. This is an out-of-service failure if the latches aren't present and in good shape. Never go up in a bucket without both the primary and secondary latches working properly. Make sure the point that the manufacturer provides to attach your lanyard is firmly attached and that it is not damaged. There should not be anything else attached here, ever. But what about the truck itself? It may seem like all this upper control, lower control checking is out of order. It's not, and here's why. There's no sense going any further if the controls and safety devices aren't working perfectly. You simply can't use the truck until they are. Pedestal. Start off by inspecting all the bolts that are used to secure the turntable to the pedestal. These bolts take the entire load, so be sure that none are backed out or loose. Turntable. Here you're going to inspect the hydraulic lines and connectors. Make sure there aren't any leaks. Lift cylinder. Check the main lift cylinder for hydraulic leaks and damage. It should also appear to have been recently greased. Lower boom. This is just a quick look for a bent boom, damage, or foreign objects like tree limbs. Upper boom. The upper or second stage boom also requires visual inspection. There shouldn't be any signs of damage, twisting, or bending. Here's the point. You can't inspect something if you can't see it, so you have to run it out every day. Remember, this truck is only a machine. It cannot think. We rely on the intelligence of the human being operating it to keep everybody safe. Also remember, this is an uninsulated bucket truck. All it does is position you closer to the work. It doesn't provide any electrical protection, period. You must absolutely adhere to OSHA and company minimum clearances. So what are they? Multiple OSHA general industry construction standards say that nobody can bring any conductive object closer than 10 feet from any power line. Since that is precisely within our zone of work, OSHA gives us 1910.268 for telecommunications. This special standard allows qualified telecommunications personnel to work inside the 10 feet required of everyone else, but does not allow us to get closer than 2 feet from 7200 volt power lines. Remember, the system neutral conductor is a power line. All right, that should just about wrap it up. Now there are only 2 more things left to say. First, this video only supplements the training you've already received. It's not a replacement for the operator's manual, nor is it a replacement for sound judgment and common sense. Always follow established safe work procedures. Second, if ever in doubt about the safe operation of this machinery, or any piece of machinery for that matter, stop immediately and get assistance from your supervisor before proceeding. Never operate this or any other piece of machinery unless you're qualified and absolutely sure you can operate it in a safe manner. Working safely is paramount on every job. It's everybody's business. Remember, accidents can cost, accidents can disable, accidents can kill, and accidents can be avoided. As always, think safety and work safely. Thanks for watching.